This is Spence and Keyframe present Bad Movie Club.
Oh man, I like doing Bad Movie Club as much as Liam Freeman likes saying the word pansy.
I don't know if Liam's going to listen, but I think he's going to be happy that we just gave him a kind of shout out / insult at the same time. But he's probably just going to turn around and go, those feminazis. We love you, Liam. Honestly, we do. But we're back. This is, what, number 5?
Uh-huh.
I don't even know what we're calling this one. We'll probably come up with something we say later. We normally do, because we say pretty absurd stuff.
Yeah, episode 5 is usually the best one, like, Empire Strikes Back.
Oh, God. Oh,
We're going to leave this one on a cliffhanger.
No, we're not. This is not the Italian Job. In fact, speaking of Liam, he did recommend a film we could do for a future Bad Movie Club, and I 100% agree with him.
Is it the Italian Job remake?
Oh, that too, because that was a pile of shit. But no, it's the 1990s Captain America film.
I was about to suggest we do it next week,
Yeah, it's absolutely awful. But obviously, if we're going to do it, talk about it next week. But that film is it.
I haven't seen it.
Well, in the 80s and 90s, basically DC ruled the cinema, and Marvel was just pathetic. But now it's obviously the opposite, and we're going to talk about that later. But we're going to talk about that later.
Oh, you're fit to burst, man.
I am fit to
Get
burst.
Bust a nut.
I'm not going to do that.
You might bust a nut.
I'm going to bust a groove.
Did you sit at the back of the cinema during Civil War so you could get away with masturbating?
Actually, it was very packed. It went the Saturday after release day, so it was extremely packed. So we had to sit, like, at the side seats, so you had to watch it at an angle. And then the tall guy sat in front of me, so I was pissed off at the start, but then he moved, so I was happy. You hate that when tall people sit in front of you at a cinema.
Yeah, they know what they're about. They can sit at the back.
Yeah, they know they don't need the extra fucking headroom, because their head's enough room. I mean, do you know, have you seen the Abraham Lincoln movie?
Lincoln?
Yeah, Lincoln.
No.
I have, and it's actually a really good film. But when I went to see it, a really tall twat sat in front of me, and I found it very ironic because Abraham Lincoln was a very tall person in itself.
Should have shot him.
I'm not John Wilkes Booth, okay? I'm not going to shoot him. But I do like that. That was very clever of you. Well done. But I don't like the fact that he died. Because Abraham
Thanks, man.
Lincoln.
Whenever I tell a joke, I do need affirmation.
Yeah, but Abraham Lincoln was a good man, so let's not belittle his good name.
Yeah, so's Lincoln.
He freed the slaves and stuff. He fought the South, which someone needs to do again because Donald Trump is just fucking ruling that place.
Oh god, yeah, that's depressing, isn't it?
He's basically Hitler.
We've covered this before.
We have covered this before.
Last week, I think.
Yeah, we do not like Donald Trump. I think that's the area we're getting at here. But shall we?
We have a question.
Oh, do we have a question? Oh, right.
From our good friend AB Studios, and he tweeted me asking, "What's the worst film that we've ever seen in all of history, and would we throw lemons at the director of that film?"
That is such an AB. Why lemons?
I don't know. It could have been any citrus fruit in that situation, but
why a fruit?
he chose
Why not
lemons.
bricks? This is such an AB thing to say. What's the worst film I've ever watched in human history?
Yeah.
Oh, why put me on the spot like this? There's so many. Super Mario Bros. Was pretty fucking awful.
Definitely the worst film I've ever seen.
But I don't think it's the worst film I've ever seen. No, there is. I can't remember the name of it, but it was like a World War II film based around resurrecting demons, and it was all the New Zealand cast, and it just was fucking awful. It was like one of those films that's all shot in one location. So obviously it's a low budget film, but low budget films can work. But this one was a pile of shit. But that next to Mario Bros, 1993 Mario Bros, was a steaming pile of horse crap.
I'm sure we'll watch a film at some point that's even worse than that.
But probably, yeah. But as for throwing lemons at a director, I wouldn't choose those directors. I would just want to throw lemons at Michael Bay. Just repeatedly. But I want him to be naked when I'm doing it.
Yeah, and you're going to shoot the video in slow-mo?
Yeah, I'm going to shoot it in slow-mo. Put an orange filter on it.
The citrus juice is just pouring over his lack of abs in sort of a weird kind of... Oh, and he's sort of massaging it into his skin.
I don't like where this podcast has gone.
Alright, mate, you suggested it.
I did not suggest that!
You suggested throw lemons at Michael Bay. I just took it to the next step. What director would I throw lemons at just for a laugh? I feel like I'd throw him at Quentin Tarantino because I feel like he would get it.
Yeah, he would get it.
He'd be like, oh, fair enough, mate.
Yeah, I get that.
It's like, actually, this scene, that reminds me of a scene in a film from 1952.
That's a good Quentin Tarantino impression, actually. You know, he kind of whispers when he talks before he actually says anything. So I know I'm gonna say, I'm like, what the fuck are you on about, mate?
I mean, he's like a hyperactive child.
He doesn't. He has ADD though, doesn't he?
Oh, does he?
Yeah. So that kind of explains all of his films ever.
Feel bad now.
I don't. He's probably vegan too.
Oh, he's definitely not.
He's not a vegan.
He is aged like a sack of mashed potato.
Oh he has, hasn't he?
Mm.
He's gone from like quite a young-looking man to a mouldy sack of potatoes.
With a foot fetish.
Oh, he does have a foot fetish, doesn't he? What's that scene in Dusk Till Dawn with the foot in the mouth and the alcohol down it?
Yeah.
What's that about? And it was his direct mouth. He could have got Clooney to do it, but no, he wanted toes in his mouth.
I'd like to suck Salma Hayek's toes too, though. To be fair, it is Salma Hayek. I don't even have a foot fetish.
Oh, okay. I don't know what. No. Bad Elliot. Bad
Movie Club.
Oh, you brought it full circle. Circle of life. You know when I went to see Civil War, they played the trailer for the next Turtles film, and it got me very pissed off. And it will get you pissed off too, because there's a shot of April O'Neil, you know, Megan Fox's character, in a schoolgirl uniform, but it's like a crop top schoolgirl uniform, like an obvious porno.
Oh yeah, I've seen that trailer, and Megan Fox's midriff cannot save this film.
Like, I don't understand what's the point in that. That's just Michael Bay, just being Michael fucking Twatted Bay. It got me pissed off, and that film to me, it looked like an Avengers rip-off. And the first film to me looked like an Amazing Spider-Man 1 rip-off. So I've just got no hope for it. I only went to see like the first one because I'm actually a huge Turtles fan, and I have a friend who's also a huge Turtles fan, and I asked him if it was a good film, and he was like, "Yeah, it's all right, go see it." And then I regretted everything I ever did in that day.
Future Bad Movie Club.
It's definitely a Future Bad Movie Club, and they're trying to redeem it by bringing in actual characters from past Turtles content, like Casey Jones and the alien. I can't remember his name, but I don't think it's just gonna work. Because in the last one, they ruined Shredder, making him to like a fucking robot-looking motherfucker. That's not Shredder. He's a ninja, not a fucking robot. Ugh! Shall we get on to our first topic?
Yeah, so some news.
We have news.
There's been some cool news. The first one you'd be able to talk about a bit more than me.
Yeah, because you haven't actually seen it, have you?
No, but the director of 10 Cloverfield Lane has been announced as one of the directors for an episode of Black Mirror.
Because Netflix has bought Black Mirror and they're doing their own now, and as long as I believe they're going to re-put the old ones back on. But if you don't know what Black Mirror is, it's so interesting. It's probably the best thing on television, I would say. One of the best things. Doctor Who's obviously the best. But it's one of the best things on television. Because every episode is like a 40-minute short film. And what it does... it plays on... moral questions within society, like technology, the way society is. The reason it's called Black Mirror, and the actual creator of Black Mirror has said this in an interview, is because when the episode ends and the screen goes black, it's like a black mirror and you can see your own reflection. You think, oh my god, what have I just been watching? But each episode, it has such a dark twist to them, but it's such an intriguing twist. And in some of the episodes, what they do really well is what we said we like about Her, is that they do sci-fi in the background, and they do it really well in Black Mirror. Like the first episode, I'm not going to spoil it because I really want you to watch Black Mirror because it's amazing, but it involves the Prime Minister having to do something to save someone, and that something is like absolutely brutal, and it makes you question, should he do it? And then like that's the whole point of Black Mirror, it makes you question it, should he do it, shouldn't he do it, is that the right thing to do? And some of the episodes would just leave you like depressed, but there's one episode where it left me kind of questioning my own morality, because this is a bit of a spoiler, but basically it's about torturing a child killer over and over, but every time they torture them they wipe their memory so they can't remember why they're being tortured. And it made me think, is that acceptable? Because obviously I hate anyone that does any wrong to a child, but should you go to that extreme? It's really quite dark and quite interesting. But I'm really excited to see Black Mirror come back because I absolutely love Black Mirror. It's one of the best things on television. You really should watch it. You will be so happy.
This piques my interest, not just because my interest in Black Mirror, but 10 Cloverfield Lane, which I haven't seen yet, but here is a very dark, tense, self-contained thriller with interesting ideas, which is what I associate with Black Mirror already. So I'd be very interested to see what the director brings to it.
From what I saw of the trailer, because I haven't seen 10 Cloverfield Lane, but what I saw of the trailer is actually very Black Mirror-like. So hopefully that will be extremely interesting, and I can't wait to see it, to be quite honest. What's our next topic?
The next thing is there was a production image from a new film called Journeyman that was released. It's a boxing film. It's Paddy Considine's second.
Oh, is this a sequel to Rocky?
No,
But it's boxing.
not every boxing film is a sequel to Rocky.
You say that like you don't mean it,
I don't mean it. That's why I say it.
but it's boxing. Rocky. Da-na-na.
I will shadow box you into the next estate if I have to.
Da-na-na.
So, Paddy Considine, for anyone who doesn't know, is the fucking man.
This is the Eye of the Tiger.
Paddy Considine's a massive Rocky fan.
Is he the friend of the fight?
Oh my god, I'm gonna hurt you.
Carry on, I'll stop with the Rocky references.
Yeah, you will. But I put Paddy Considine in here because he's from Derbyshire.
Yay, Derby! That's
and
where we're
he's
from.
He's the only redeeming thing about Derbyshire. He's the only good thing we've ever...
Yeah, Derby's not known for many good things,
No.
like, at all,
And
ever.
This will be his first directorial film in about 4 years. He did a film called Tyrannosaur, which is fucking
Oh,
dark.
the sequel to Jurassic Park. We can't see Elliot's face right now, but he wants to kill me.
Some people should just be fucking put down.
You say that like you mean it.
I mean it.
Okay then. What's Tyrannosaur though?
Tyrannosaur, you should definitely watch it. I'm not going to tell you too much about it.
Okay.
Just know that it's a dark, British, like, kind of film.
You know all those films you told me to watch last podcast? I actually never got around to watching them.
That's because you're a terrible person,
It
Kieran.
is because I'm a terrible person and because I might have a day job. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Don't you give me the finger, young man. But there's another actor to come out of Derby, but I can't remember her name. She was in the teen.
Ah, yes. Yes, I know. The teen.
Fuck you. Misfits. She was in Misfits.
All right, yeah.
She played the chavvy girl in the first few seasons who could read minds.
Yeah.
Can't remember her name.
Yeah, she annoyed me.
Really?
Yeah, because she's a fucking chav.
Oh, you don't mean that.
Just reminds me of all the people that I went to school with.
Good point. Good point. We hate chavs.
And people.
Well, you do.
Yeah.
I think they have redeeming qualities.
I'm yet to see that.
You will. Tell me, Elliot. Do you bleed? Why did I make that reference? That film was a pile of crap.
What film was it?
Batman versus Superman.
Oh my god.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. I'm very upset with Zack Snyder lately. Because he's terrible at movies. I say that, I did kind of enjoy 300 though.
I don't like that either.
But it's just one of those films I can feel I can switch my mind off and just watch.
Take away all the slow-mo, it's about 20 minutes long, that whole film.
Good point. Well, actually, if you think that's a good point, then that's basically Batman versus Superman. In fact, when I think back to it, there's a lot of unnecessary slow-mo and Jesus imagery. Basically, Superman's Jesus now. And Batman must be Satan. He has the horns. What's The Craft?
The Craft is a film that I mentioned last week during our 90s special. It's a 1996 teen sort of horror comedy about a coven of witches who are also high school students. It's really cool. And a new Craft film has been announced. It's not a remake, but it's going to be a sequel. Other than that, I don't really know a whole lot about it. I just thought I'd throw it in because we talked about the 90s last week, and The Craft is one of my favourite films from the 90s.
Do you think it's going to tank?
Yeah.
Aw. I was hoping you'd say more positive things then. But yeah, sequels do have that kind of tendency, don't they, to not live up to their predecessors, especially if they come out years after.
Yeah, like 20 years after in this case.
There's only a very few films that work as sequels. Empire Strikes Back for one, because that film is the shit. Probably the best Star Wars film ever made.
And one of the best films in general.
Oh god, yeah. In fact, I want to watch Empire Strikes Back now. Do you get that as well? Whenever you see a bit of Star Wars content, you want to watch Star Wars. But I mean the original Star Wars, not the prequels.
Of course I do.
I tried to watch the prequels the other day. I really did. I went into it with an open mind. I'm like, maybe there's some redeeming qualities about it. I got 15 minutes into Phantom Menace, saw Jar Jar fucking Binks, and wanted to punch my granddad out of his grave. Fucking hell. I'm not getting to go to heaven, am I? It's alright, don't believe it exists anyway. I have literally silenced Elliot. He does not know what to say. It's okay, he was cremated, really.
Where do we go now?
I feel like that's a song.
Yeah, it's Guns N' Roses, mate.
Oh, I love Guns N' Roses. I actually do love Guns N' Roses. Except Chinese Democracy, because why did they do that?
Yeah.
Well, I'm talking about music. What's wrong with me? I know nothing about music. This is great. I'm like you now. I should wear my hat backwards.
Just because you talked about Guns N' Roses does not mean you're like me now.
Yes, it does. It kind of does, Elliot. Search your feelings. You know them to be true. Right, guys, guess what happened? Since the last podcast, 2 things happened.
Mate, you're going to burst.
I am going to burst. Because I saw
Your most anticipated film of all time?
the most anticipated film of all time. Why is my alarm going off? Actually, that wasn't an alarm. Someone just phoned me. My old friend Nicola.
Inconsiderate cunt.
She's now on the podcast. Hello, Nicola.
Sorry, I just called you an inconsiderate C word.
It's alright, I hate her.
Oh,
Are we going to leave that in or not?
why not?
Yeah, it'll be banter. Anyway, I saw my most anticipated film of all time. Oh, well, actually, maybe it's not, but of this year.
Mean Girls 3.
Fuck off. No. Absolutely not. The first Mean Girls was good. The second one was awful. They should not do a third. No.
Mean Mums.
Oh, stop doing the thing with your mouth. That makes words. Just let me say it. Stop it. I saw Captain America Civil War. And the other thing that happened, I turned 21. Just going to throw that out there. I'm now old.
Yeah, no one cares.
Thank you. Don't
Alright, mate.
fucking tap me on the back, son.
Hey, I got you a present, son.
He did get me a present, and I've actually been reading it, and he does not give a shit about how he offends in that book. I love Frankie Boyle to death. Anyway, I saw my most anticipated Marvel film of all time, and that was Civil War. And I will say, this is the best Marvel movie I have ever seen, and that is quite big for me to say, because Deadpool is very high for me.
Oh, chill out, hyperbole, man. Give
But
us some reasons.
actually, I'm going to re-amend that statement.
Oh, no, don't.
Civil War is the best Marvel Studios film I've seen in all time, because Deadpool is not part of Marvel Studios, because Fox.
Fair.
But
Fair.
Civil War, right, thing is, to me, Civil War is the best Marvel story in the comics of all time. I love, because if you want to read Civil War, there's just the one book. There's Civil War, which highlights the main points of Civil War. If you want to know everything about Civil War, you've got to get all the independent issues, like Captain America, Iron Man, their story, Peter Parker's version, the Black Panther's version, Fantastic Four's version, the Young Avengers version. There's so many points of view of Civil War that you have to read to fully understand how big this event was. And when I went to see this, I knew they wasn't going to, do it shot by shot of the comic, but they did keep some aspects which I loved. Because in Civil War, the main thing that starts the war is something called the Stamford Incident, which is there's this group of superheroes that have a reality TV show based around them, and they're chasing down some bad guys. And during that, they accidentally cause an explosion which blows up a town called Stamford and an elementary school full of school children. And this makes the public think, maybe these superheroes need to be put in line. Maybe we can't have them running around in their spandex doing whatever the fuck they want, because innocent people are dying now. And Tony Stark and a few other superheroes back this opinion, like, yeah, we need to be put in check. And Captain America's like, no, I don't want to be controlled by a government, because what if they tell me who the enemy are and they're wrong? So Captain America's like, no, and a bunch of other superheroes like, no, we're not going to do what in the comics was called the Registration Act, where you have to legally register as a government agent, and you also get paid to be a superhero. So some superheroes like, yeah, that's great. And Iron Man's backing that. Captain America's like, no, fuck off. We're vigilantes and we're proud. And that causes the main conflict. And during the comic, there's side switching, like Spider-Man's originally on Iron Man's team, and then the death of Goliath kind of makes him change his mind, and he joins Captain America's team. And in the end, Captain America kind of realizes that this war is getting innocent people hurt, and he just surrenders. And spoiler alert, if you read the comics, there's one called Aftermath of Civil War where he's actually assassinated by Crossbones and not Peggy Carter, Susan Carter, Agent 13, who's actually in the movie as well, and that's Peggy Carter's niece from the first Captain America. the love interest, the British secret agent. She doesn't mean to kill him. She's actually brainwashed. But that's a sad time in comic book history when Captain America died. And in the comics, he passes on the idol of Captain America to Bucky Barnes, the Winter Soldier. But in the movie, they use previous movies as the Stanford incident, like the event in Avengers New York, the Sokovia event, where Ultron raised the fucking city out of the ground and tried to kill people, Washington, and a bunch of others. And then there's one in the movie where the Scarlet Witch accidentally blows up a building because Crossbones is about to detonate and like kill himself and blow up everyone around him, and she uses her powers to lift him up, and she accidentally blows up a building, which makes her feel guilty because she's killed innocent people, and then that triggers something called the Accords, and then that means they have to basically sign these Accords and work for the government. So the Avengers can no longer say, "Oh, these are the bad guys, we're going to go stop them." The government has to tell them when to fight, and Captain America's like, "What if they tell us to fight the wrong people? I'm not happy with that." And Tony Stark's like, "No, mate, back this. No, mate, I'm not." Basically, big fight happens, and also throughout this event in the movie, Captain America is reconnected with his childhood friend Bucky Barnes, who has been falsely accused of blowing up the UN and killing the King of Wakanda, which then inspires the Black Panther to want to kill Bucky Barnes because he killed his father. And the Black Panther in Civil War, he is fucking brilliant. I love it.
Looking forward to the solo film?
Oh, absolutely. Especially with the after credit scene of Civil War, makes it look amazing because there's a shot of Wakanda, and in the comics, Wakanda is I can't always say this word, but the most technology advanced country in the world, and it looked absolutely amazing because they actually had like cities built into mountains to preserve the natural landscape, and a massive, amazing like ancient statue of a Black Panther, which I was like, yes, mate, that looks amazing. But yeah, so basically, Captain's like, I'm going to help Bucky, and I'm not going to sign the Accords. So basically, it inspires a war between the ones that do agree with the Accords and the ones that don't. And then the peak of the film happened for me, where the both teams know they're going to fight, so they're going to have to recruit. So Captain America recruits one of my favourite Marvel films characters so far, Ant-Man. And the introduction to Ant-Man when he sees Captain, he just can't stop shaking his hand. It's like, "I'm meeting Captain America, you're amazing." He points at Scarlet Witch, "You're amazing too." He's just brilliant in that film. And then Iron Man, Tony Stark knows he's going to have to recruit someone to help him. Where does he go? He goes to Queens. Oh my god.
Who does he get at Queens, man?
He gets Spider-Man! And the introduction to Peter Parker is amazing. And there's one thing about him, his Aunt May is getting younger every fucking film.
Yeah, she's really milfy.
I know, right? Is it MILF or Aunt Fee? I don't know. But the thing is, I like about this Peter Parker is Tobey Maguire, he was a good Spider-Man, terrible Peter Parker. Andrew Garfield was a good Spider-Man. No.
Tobey Maguire was a good Peter Parker, bad Spider-Man.
Bad Spider-Man. Andrew Garfield,
the
good
reverse,
Spider-Man.
yeah.
Bad Peter
This
Parker.
guy's apparently good at both, yeah.
Is amazing as Peter Parker. He's the awkward, awkward.
He's a fucking street kid, isn't he? This time, like he's in rags, like he's.
Yeah, like he's meant to be, and he's
Yeah.
he's very young, and everyone was complaining about that. I'm like, mate, have you not read a comic? He was like 15 when he got his powers. That's young. He was in high school. I mean, that's young. He was a kid when it happened. And the introduction to him, the banter between him and Tony Stark, and Tony's like trying to like, I want you for a secret mission in front of his eye. He's like winking at me. He goes, "Remember that scholarship you signed up?" Where he's winking constantly at him, and then they have a conversation in there in private in Peter Parker's bedroom, and he's like, "Oh, so he just gets up the footage of Spider-Man, and he's like, 'Oh, so you're this guy?" He's like, "No, I'm not." "Yes, you are." And he finds his costume. It's like, "I can build you a better suit than that, so you don't have to run around in your onesie," and it's just brilliant. So then we get to the airport scene, and Captain America's there like, "Right, guys, just let us go. We don't want to fight." And Iron Man's like, "I've had enough of this." Under us, Spider-Man appears in full costume, takes his shield, and he's just so teenager. He is. He's like talking all the time throughout the fights. He's talking whilst fighting the Falcon, and the Falcon's like, "Have you ever been in a fight before? There's not normally this much talking." And he takes Captain America's shield. He's like, "Hi, Captain, huge fan." Salutes him. He's like, hey everyone. He just won't stop talking. He's trying so hard to impress Tony Stark throughout the entire thing. It's so adorable. And then, anyway, big fights start happening. The fight scene is absolutely amazing between Team Cap and Team Iron Man. I couldn't ask for better. Spider-Man's there, beating ass, being badass. There's amazing fights between the Black Panther, Captain America, the Vision, Scarlet Witch. So much cool stuff, like the air fights between Rhodey and the Falcon. Oh my god. And then Captain asks, is there anyone on his team with a really cool ability? Because like Spider-Man's owning at this point, so just webbing them up like, yeah mate, you got nothing on me, right? Then Ant-Man's like, I've got this one thing, I've only tried it once in the lab and I fainted. He does it and he turns to Giant Man. He turns to Giant Man and he's just like grabbing like War Machine out of the sky, and Tony Stark's like, hey, put my Rhodey down. It's just epic. And anyway, like the fight seems coming to a conclusion, and Captain America and Bucky are getting away. They escape because that's the whole point of this fight. They're trying to escape to this location where there's other Winter Soldiers. That Bucky's like, there's other ones of me. We need to stop them. And this whole thing is being like, they're all manipulated into fighting by someone called Baron Zemo. In the comics, he's more badass, but in this one, it's like he's what he is. He's a father whose family died in Sokovia, so that's why he hates the Avengers, and he knows he hasn't got the ability to fight them. But what if you can get them to fight each other? So he's been manipulating them the whole time. He set up Bucky Barnes at the UN to kill, what's his face, the Black Panther's dad. It wasn't really Bucky. He set it all up. He's been manipulating this. And it's a trap, basically, to try and get everyone to kill each other. So Captain America and Bucky are going to this location to try and like find all these other versions of Bucky. But then the fight actually comes to a conclusion. Rhodey is shot out of the sky accidentally by the Vision, because Vision's on his team, but Vision was aiming at the Falcon. Falcon dodged it, it hit Rhodey. Rhodey fell to the ground. He doesn't die, but he gets paralysed. So obviously Tony's like by his side, upset, and then Falcon just walks up realising, oh crap, that was dangerous. And he just goes, I'm sorry, and then Tony just raises his hand, pulses him, blasts him out of the way. And then back at the airport, the fight seems to come to a conclusion where Spider-Man's just webbing around Ant-Man, and he just says to everyone else, hey guys, have you ever seen that really old movie, The Empire Strikes Back? And I was like, how old is this guy? And Tony Stark's like, he's on the young side. And he just webs his leg up like, you know, the AT-ATs, and he falls. And then like they're all arrested and put into prison. So like, Hawkeye is put in prison. Falcon is. Scott Lang, Ant-Man, and Scarlet Witch, yeah, she's put in prison. So basically most of Team Cap's team is put in prison except him and Bucky. So then in the prison scene, the raft, Tony Stark and the Falcon are talking, and he tells Captain America where he's going because he actually wants to help Cap at this point, because they've discovered evidence that it wasn't Bucky behind all these terror attacks, and that they were being set up. So it's like, oh, okay, maybe we can talk this over. So he goes to the location where Bucky and Captain are to try and find all these other Winter Soldiers, and they've been killed by Baron Zemo, and it was an entire trap to get them there to fight each other, because he has this secret that Captain has been hiding from Bucky. And it's quite a big reveal. I didn't see it coming. It was brilliantly done. So they're there. They're okay with each other at this point, and like they're pals. They're together, and they're watching this footage of one of Bucky's very first missions when he was still the Winter Soldier and under mind control. And the footage is of Bucky killing 2 people and getting this superhero serum to create the other Winter Soldiers. But the 2 people he were killing was Tony Stark's parents. Yeah. And that makes him fucking angry. So he's like, mate, we're gonna fight. So he's trying to kill Bucky. He's on revenge. I'm killing Bucky in his head. He's like, I'm having this fucker. Cap's like, no, he's my best friend. And that's where you see the scene from the trailer. It's like, he's my best friend. And he's like, so was I. I was like, that is super sad. Okay.
Even I'm sad, and I don't really have any.
That touched me in the feels. Okay. So they're fighting, and this is the most epic fight scene. Captain America and Iron Man going head to head. They do the imagery from the comics where, you know, it's got Iron Man just blasting on his shield and his shield up like that, and it's brilliantly done. And he eventually rips Bucky's arm off, the metal arm. So Bucky's out of the fight. So it's just between Cap and Iron Man. They're going at it, and eventually Cap beats him. He gets him to the ground. It looks like he's actually going to smash him in the face with his shield, but he goes for his repulsor, making his armor useless. Smash, done, out of the game. And then he's walking off with Bucky, and the last words from Stark to Cap was, "You don't deserve that shield. My father made that shield." And then Cap just stops and looks back at him, feels a bit sorry for him, drops the shield and walks away. And also Baron Zemo was still there, and the Black Panther's right behind him. And Baron Zemo's watching the fight. That's when he confesses to the Black Panther about his children in Sokovia being killed, and he wants them to fight each other because he knew he didn't stand a chance. And it makes the Black Panther have a change of heart, because he wanted to kill Bucky for killing his dad. Then he realises he didn't do it, but the man that did is right in front of him, and he sees what revenge has done to this person. So he's like, "No, I'm not going to kill you. I've had a change of heart." So he actually stops Baron Zemo from killing himself, and then helps Captain America. Anyway, so we've got the Avengers are back together, kind of, minus the ones in prison and Cap on the run. So it's basically the Avengers are back in the Avengers headquarters. They're a bit depressed, like, damn, we've lost a few good members. And then a package arrives from a FedEx guy, played by Stan fucking Lee. What a legend. And he goes, "Is this the place of a Tony Stank?" Brilliant. And it's a letter and a burner phone from Captain America. And it's like a nice little moment there between them, like, "I'm sorry about everything. I tried to keep it from you because I respected you and you were my friend," and blah 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 blah. It's quite emotional. And then while he's reading it, he gets a call. Tony Stark gets a call, like, "There's been a break-in in the raft." Cap's broke everyone out, and now that's it. That's the end of the film. Credits roll. After credits, they're in Wakanda, and Captain America's back with his team, and he's got Bucky going on ice because he needs to help him really get his mind back. So they're in Wakanda with the Black Panther, and that's where you get the nice shot of the Black Panther's country, of Wakanda, and it's like, yes, oh yes, they're back, they're out of prison, and I'm like, yeah, best fucking Marvel film ever. Oh,
Awesome, even I want to watch it now.
you have to. Oh mate, it is so good.
Hamza was raving about it as well
Oh,
when I spoke to him.
I mean, that was quite a spoilery review of mine, but I had to because it was just too fucking good. But let me tell you, Spider-Man, because Spider-Man's one of my favourite Marvel characters.
Mine too, actually, even though I'm not massively into it.
They got him spot fucking on, and I'm absolutely hyped for Spider-Man Homecoming, and it's actually been confirmed that Tony Stark is going to be in that movie. Cool. And I want the bloody Iron Spider costume. Please let that happen. I don't know what villains they're going to do for him, and but in Civil War he's only been Spider-Man for 6 months, so there's still quite a lot to do for him. So I am absolutely hyped. I don't know if they're going to do like the start. I don't know if they're going to start off with Uncle Ben being killed. Personally, I don't really want them to because we've seen that enough already.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll do it through flashbacks or something, but come on, make it good. I know you're going to make it good, but yeah, I am so happy about Civil War. Basically, it's what Batman versus Superman should have been, but better.
And with Spider-Man in it.
With Spider-Man in it. Oh. The second, when I was watching it, the second, like, they was talking about recruiting some guy, my hand, I just, like, grabbed my girlfriend's hand. I was like, oh, it's going to be him. He's going to enter. He's going to enter. And then, yep, there he is. A beautiful looking Peter Parker. Oh, I was just too happy. Too happy. But I wonder in Spider-Man Homecoming if they're going to do a love interest. And if they do, I still want it to be Gwen Stacy because that's what it was in the comics. Gwen Stacy first, she died, Mary Jane. But I have talked about, oh my god, I just looked at the time, I talked about Civil War for a long fucking time. Shall we go into your beloved topic?
Give me a minute. It has just occurred to me, I've not really had a chance to really go in depth on this film and really talk about it a lot.
Well, I've gone in depth in Civil War. It's your turn.
So, yesterday was May 4th.
May the 4th be with you, everyone.
A day that holds a special place in my heart now, it now holds a special place in my heart. It didn't used to.
You know, if yesterday was May the 4th,
Yeah.
May the 4th be with you, is today Revenge of the 5th?
If you like.
It is now. But, yes. You've been wanting to talk about this for a long time, so I'm just going to...
I have, yeah, and I've never properly spoken about it out loud. I've thought about it in my head a lot. Had a few entertaining conversations with myself, as I normally do when I'm drunk. Star Wars The Force Awakens.
That happened.
It did happen, and I was not anticipating the film at all, actually. Not initially, and I'll get to that.
Yeah, because you told me you took a break from Star Wars for a long time, and I want to know why.
Well, I took a break from everything.
Oh, for God's sake.
There was a period of time from, I want to say, late 2013 to late 2015, where I hated everything. Like, I know that sounds funny now, but at the time, deadly serious, hated everything. Because everything was ruined by people being fucking pricks. So when I first heard the news about a 7th Star Wars film and a new trilogy, just didn't care at all.
I was very sceptical, because prequels.
I just straight up didn't care. And so when that first teaser trailer was released, I didn't bother watching it.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't bother at all. It wasn't until I was on set with this director, we were doing a short film. He is a big Star Wars fan as well, and he made me watch the teaser trailer because I said, I haven't really seen it, I don't really care. And immediately I went, oh damn. This is taking me back to when I was like 6 watching the original trilogy.
Yeah.
Like, funny story about when I was 6 watching the original trilogy. They would play a film every Tuesday. I think it was every Tuesday they would play one of the films, and I didn't want to go to school on Tuesday because I wanted to watch Empire Strikes Back so much. So I was like, I'm going to take the day off and I'm going to get fucking amped for Empire Strikes Back. Fast forward a good like 13 years later, I didn't really care about anything anymore. As you do when you grow older. So I kind of went, oh well, it looks pretty decent, but probably won't be any good because everything sucks.
Yeah, but everyone had that opinion because prequels.
Yeah. And then the final trailer got released, and I kind of accepted that I started to care a bit more.
Yeah.
And I went,
Was that the one where Han Solo actually appeared at the end?
I think it was, yeah.
But let me tell you my reaction to that. I ran around the house screaming. At the time, I was 20. I don't know why I had to think really hard about that. I was only 20 a couple of fucking days ago. Anyway, when that happened, I ran down my stairs to tell my mum. I had to tell her. I don't know why, but whenever I get good news in my life, I have to tell my mum. And I did that with that trailer. Also, I did it with the Civil War trailer when Spider-Man appeared, but it's just Star Wars now.
So, oh god, where was I going to start with this?
There's just so much you want to say, isn't there?
There is a lot that I want to say. I don't really know where to begin. So when I went to see it in the cinemas, I was sat out the front, awful.
Yeah, never sat at the
with
front.
my neck cramped up. Didn't care for the next 2 hours that my neck.
Actually.
Yeah, didn't care for the next 2 hours that my neck was fucked, because as soon as the opening crawl faded and we panned down into space, I went, "This is different. This is very different.
This is not a prequel."
No, I immediately felt that sense of movie magic, which I haven't felt for a very, very long time, and it immediately took me back, and I was really willing to just let myself escape into this film, like proper escapism that you don't experience so much anymore. So, I will address the main complaint that a lot of people seem to have, that it's got too many parallels with A New Hope. I just want to say, and it's fine if you disagree, every Star Wars film is basically A New Hope, really. But there is a certain formula that makes Star Wars work, and if you deviate too much from it, I think this is the same for every franchise as well.
Yeah.
Creed, the new Rocky movie, is basically Rocky, but it's fucking great.
That's why it works. That's why Force Awakens works.
There's a certain formula that you have to stick to some extent. I do resent people going, oh, it's basically a remake of New Hope. I don't think it is at all. I think it does quite a lot differently. What that rests on are these new characters, which I don't want to get too ahead of myself. They're borderline iconic already.
You love Rey.
I love all of these new characters. Even Captain Phasma did fuck all. I love them all.
Traitor.
dude.
They wrote a book about
The
him.
Riot Trooper is so cool.
They wrote a book about him.
Traitor! Yeah, you told me about the book. I'm gonna probably read that at some point. These new characters and the people that they've chosen to play them are really fucking excellent. But before I get to that, I want to say Force Awakens had to be very similar to the originals. They had really no choice but to play it safe because...
Bear in mind, they did do different things for the prequels, and everyone hated them.
Yeah, I mean, we all ripped the prequels for being different. They were very different aesthetically, and they felt synthetic, and nothing really gelled very well about the prequels, but we'll get into that in the future, I'm sure.
I don't like sand.
They really had to play it safe with this, and if they hadn't, it would have been a very different and maybe not as good of a film. I don't like to speculate usually, but I don't think that it would have worked out as well. But it definitely does things differently. I usually have to tread carefully here because my issue with Toy Story 3 was that it was a lot like Toy Story 2, but it didn't feel like a Toy Story film. This is where I have to differentiate because Star Wars very much felt like more of a Star Wars film than Return of the Jedi did, if I'm quite honest.
Yeah, I actually do agree with that.
I think it's probably the best film since Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah, it's the best Star Wars film since Empire Strikes Back. If I had the list, it would be Empire, New Hope, Force Awakens, Return of the Jedi.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to count the prequels because fuck them.
Yeah, and so a lot of what's different about this rests with these new characters and the people playing them. Rey is fucking
Bear in
awesome.
mind, right? Everyone's thinking that she's not very powerful. I think she's extremely powerful because, here's why. Luke became a Jedi at, 17?
Yeah.
She's around that age. Right, I don't know if you've not read, like, the Extended Universe, but in the Extended Universe, Luke becomes, like, one of the most powerful fucking Jedi of all time. Right. Also, Anakin, even though we hate the prequels, he was also too old to become a Jedi. He became one of the most fucking powerful Force users of all time. Rey went up against Kylo Ren, who is trained in the Force, trained in lightsaber combat, and she bested him. She bested him in the Force. She got the lightsaber.
Yeah.
She beated him in lightsaber combat. So basically, she doesn't need that much training because she is that powerful in the Force. That's how the Force works. I've read quite a lot. I've read a book called the Path of the Jedi, and basically, in that it says you can be well trained and still be a crap Jedi. It's the Force within you that makes you such an amazing Jedi or Sith. So that's why I think she's powerful, because she's really connected to the Force.
Yeah. One of the main criticisms with Rey that people seem to bring up is that she's a Mary Sue, quote unquote. I think that's absolute bullshit. She has trained with a staff for years. She's already self-sufficient, which Luke Skywalker was not. Like, he didn't know he was Force sensitive until he got training. She figured it out for herself, and Kylo Ren already wounded when she fought him. His training not complete either, which we find out from Supreme Leader Snoke. So there's a very good chance that she is equally, if not more so, powerful than him, just naturally without any proper training. So I think that criticism is really unfounded and a bit nitpicky. I'm just gonna put that out there. Also, I read a story on the internet of like a young girl was watching The Force Awakens, and she saw Rey and she went, "If she can do all that cool stuff, can I do it too?"
That's cute.
I think that's a really amazing thing.
That's
and
sweet.
Even if you don't like this film, which is perfectly fine, you're more than within your rights for it to not click with you.
But you're wrong.
Well, I'm not going to say you're wrong.
I am.
Kieran will. What an amazing thing for these new fans of Star Wars to grow up with this new trilogy of films. That's, I think, very much for the new fans as much as it is the old.
What they did is they really pleased the old fans, and they set it up so you could get new fans. Yeah,
and I don't see any shame in that because I think it's a really good film, and I think that the implications of this new cast of characters could be really quite profound. What an amazing thing for young girls and for children of colour to watch this new cast and go, that's me.
Yeah.
What an amazing thing that is. Like, whether you like the film or not, you've got to acknowledge that that's a really beautiful thing, and it's one of the beautiful things about film in general.
Also, what I like about Force Awakens, it's not really a Star Wars related thing, but it's made Mark Hamill on the map again.
Yeah.
And for a while, he was only really known to Batman fans as the voice of the Joker, but now he's back. Have you seen his video of he did a charity thing where he dressed as a new stormtrooper and went to Hollywood Boulevard to take pictures with people, and people didn't know he was Mark Hamill, and he was just having so much banter with these people. And like, if he came across a guy dressed as Darth Vader, he was like, "Oh, I better go take you." And he was just being really funny. And he went to this store that was just selling chargers, and he said the funniest line he could have said in that whole video. He goes, "Have you got any power converters?" And if you know A New Hope, you know that's an amazing reference.
Yeah, and I've seen people complain about Kylo Ren being a pussy-ass emo bitch.
Kylo's badass.
I beg to disagree. I think if you take just A New Hope and you take Force Awakens, which is the most compelling villain, really? Like, because you don't find anything out about Darth Vader until the next film.
True.
You already learn a lot. I'm not saying this is better than New Hope by any stretch of the
no.
imagination, but I'm saying, like, in terms of compelling villains, you already know so much about Kylo Ren. He is this volatile, very conflicted character who, with these familial ties to Darth Vader and Han Solo, it's really interesting. It's a really interesting dynamic between him and these other characters. I think he's a really good villain. I can't wait to see him fleshed out in the next films. I don't want to speculate too much as to what they're going to do with the new films because I don't want to have expectations.
I don't want to have expectations, but I kind of already do because, you know, as we said, this one is basically another version. Well, it's not another version of New Hope, but it's very inspired by A New Hope.
Yeah.
So the next one, it's going to be very inspired by Empire Strikes Back, and that, again, best Star Wars film ever.
Yeah.
So please do something amazing with it. Please do an amazing reveal like they did with Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah. I mean, the next
we need to find out who Rey's parents are, for God's sake.
Yeah.
There's so much speculation on the internet.
The next film is either going to be Empire Strikes Back or it's going to be Attack of the Clones, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that is definitely.
Yeah. I really respect what J.J. Abrams did by putting the old cast in the background and bringing these new characters and these new stories into the fore.
Definitely.
My issue with Han Solo here, and I don't know if it's just me, it felt like Harrison Ford didn't want to fucking be there.
Well, he didn't want to be in the
Yeah,
last
no,
one.
he didn't want to be in Return of the Jedi.
He wanted to be killed off.
Yeah. So it felt like some of the acting there was a bit wooden. Maybe that's a bit nitpicking, which I don't usually like to do, but I did kind of feel like you don't really want to be there, do you?
But I almost liked the fact that he died, but I did think it was a good plot point for
I
to
still
help him really go over to the dark side.
I still felt emotionally invested in his character. And
emotionally invested. I teared, mate.
Yeah, I nearly did. I don't cry anymore. I don't cry anymore.
Wow. Oh, Chewie's raw though when he dies.
Oh yeah, that's the most heartbreaking thing I've ever seen in cinema.
I felt more sorry for Chewie than Leia.
Yeah.
I just wanted to cry. Chewie, why?
And as well as new things that we haven't seen before in Star Wars films, the ending of this film.
Oh, the ending was brilliant.
And the implications that it has. Like, I don't think we've seen anything quite like that in a Star Wars movie before. Not really.
And everyone, it's still going to happen on the internet. It just blew up, like, with so many theories. He's recognising her because she's her daughter. And like, no. Because J.J. Abrams has confirmed who isn't Rey's parents. And it's like Luke, Han, Leia, the obvious ones.
Chewbacca.
Oh, clearly.
BB-8. I've got a BB-8 mug because my mum bought me one, and it's great.
I absolutely adore BB-8 because I adored R2-D2, and I don't think any droid was going to live up to him.
Yeah.
I actually went to the Disney store in Nottingham, and we were looking at the little remote controls, and one of the staff members came to talk to me. I was like, "Oh, it's good. Look at what I can do." I was like, "Yeah." He goes, "Are you looking forward to the film?" I was like, "Oh, definitely, yeah." And it's like, "Are you looking forward to seeing this guy in the film?" I was like, "Yeah, but he's got some big shoes to fill," and he filled those shoes.
Yeah, and this is a genuinely funny film as well.
Oh yeah,
like this should be called The Banter Awakens.
His thumbs up bit.
Yeah.
I love that.
The bit where Rey convinces the stormtrooper to let her go and drop. He's like, "I am now dropping my weapon. I am now."
And that
leaving.
was what's his name, wasn't it? Daniel Craig.
Oh, was it?
Daniel Craig? Bond. You know.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was him. Yeah.
Oh cool. I didn't know that.
That was actually him.
That makes it even better now.
I know, right?
Now I think about it.
Wasn't Simon Pegg? Wasn't he the portions guy?
Oh, he might have been, yeah.
Yeah. Simon Pegg, love that guy.
That slimy motherfucker in that film.
It's worth 2 portions.
The relationship between Poe and Finn.
Oh, adorable.
And I don't know where they're going to go with it, but there's been some speculation that they might be the first homosexual couple in a Star.
Really?
Yeah, some people have got fan theories that.
I would quite like to see that.
Yeah,
I respect that.
The way that Poe bit his lip at Finn when he was wearing the jacket, come on, mate.
Oh yeah.
You want it.
You've read Shattered Empire, the
yeah.
comic, yeah, because that's like a bit of an origin story of Poe's parents, and in that, what happens? Luke goes to an Empire base to steal back a tree, which was stolen by the Empire from the original Jedi Temple, and the tree is Force sensitive, as silly as that sounds, but the tree is Force sensitive, and he gave it to Poe's parents, and they planted it on a planet which they grew up around, and Poe was raised around this tree. So there's another theory that he might be Force sensitive.
Okay.
Which would be quite interesting.
Yeah, it would be interesting. Slight issue with the CGI in this film, admittedly. I think Star Wars has always had a tricky time with CGI, though, hasn't it?
Yeah,
it's never quite translated very well. I think, as much as I like the characters Maz Kanata and Supreme Leader Snoke, the design of them does not quite do it for me. But I still think they're very interesting characters.
Oh, interesting characters, yeah. Have you heard the fan theory that Maz Kanata's been in all Star Wars films?
I have heard that. It's ridiculous.
I watched the video on it, and they said, oh, basically she's been there helping the Jedi the entire time. She was disguised as Jawas in the originals, and she's always been on Tatooine. She was there when Anakin killed all the Sand People and helped him through it. And I was like, no, mate, she's new. Just accept it. But I can understand why they want it to tie to the originals.
Yeah. The Star Wars battle, the lightsaber duel between Kylo Ren and Rey is movie magic. This whole film was movie making magic. Now,
they did it so well.
You said a couple of weeks ago, Star Wars is the holy grail for film fans. For me, Star Wars is the holy grail for me as an aspiring writer and storyteller.
Yeah, definitely, without a doubt.
This saga, even including the prequels, because, fair play to them, there were some interesting ideas that didn't come to the fore.
The most interesting the story from the prequels is Darth Plagueis, who was Emperor Palpatine's mentor, who manipulated the Force to try and be immortal and create life, and that's the theory where Anakin came from. He was manipulating the Force to create life, and therefore Anakin was created in his mother. I can't always remember her name. Shmi? Yeah, Shmi. So Shmi got pregnant because Darth Plagueis was manipulating the Force. I'm not going to say fucking midichlorians because I hate that, but he was manipulating the Force to create life, and that's where Anakin came from. And there's another theory that Snoke, Supreme Leader Snoke, is Darth Plagueis because, he is also a guy that manipulated the Force to be immortal, and he, in the extended universe, I've read a book on him, which is actually still considered canon, and he didn't sleep for 20 years to try and become immortal by manipulating the Force, and eventually it was Emperor Palpatine that convinced him to go to sleep, and then he killed him in his sleep. But of course, if he could manipulate the Force to be immortal, that still might be Snoke. So, maybe.
Maybe. The reason I feel so strongly about The Force Awakens is because it didn't just remind me why I love Star Wars, it reminded me of why I love film in general.
Oh, yeah.
Because before this I didn't care about anything at all. So, to go from not giving a shit about anything to now, really wanting to invest myself in this world and, read the comic books in the extended universe and wanting to buy, like, the BB-8 mugs and the fucking...
You should read Star Wars Aftermath.
Motherfucking,
That's a really good book. It's about the last battle of the Empire and the rise of the New Order. Or is it called the First Order? I always get it confused.
Yeah, Force choke me, daddy. Like...
Oh, that's the title of this podcast.
Yeah, it made me care again. Star Wars The Force Awakens made me care again.
Look what you've done, J.J. Abrams. You've reaffirmed him.
Yeah. And I don't know if I've made all the points I want to make, but there's a really brilliant video, I say, by Chris Stuckman. It's called The Force Awakens and Star Wars Formula Analysed. It's a really brilliant, in-depth look into the formula of Star Wars and all sorts of interesting things. You should definitely watch it. It's 40 minutes long. It's worth your time. How stoked are you for the upcoming films?
Rogue One?
Any of them, all of them.
I'm quite excited for Rogue One because I've read a lot of fan theories about it, and there's that Bapta attack that everyone's like, oh, Snoke's in it. I'm like, you don't know that yet, calm down. But Rogue One looks like a good war film, actually, like an actual war film.
Yeah.
And the next one, there's nothing. There's been images leaked of the Millennium Falcon being built in different locations around the world, but that's all that's been leaked. But I am still extremely hyped for that.
Yeah. The only concern I have is the director for Episode 9 is Colin Trevorrow did Jurassic World. So I don't really know what to make of that. I would sooner him get fired.
Well, there's
if
always
I'm completely
hope.
honest. Yeah, there's always a new hope.
There's always a new hope.
God, is that all I have to say? I just like drinking from my BB-8 mug, mate.
You just love BB-8, don't you?
Yeah.
I don't blame you. He's amazing.
Traitor.
Traitor.
Oh, you know what? Fuck C-3PO while I'm at it. That golden bouncy prick just loves the sound of his own voice, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does a bit, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Not like C-3PO.
He's alright, but he got a bit annoying.
Oh, shall we get on to...
I'll tear his fucking red arm off. He
Uh-huh.
fucks with me again.
Do you know in the last shot where Ray's flying off, he has his golden arm again?
Oh, I didn't notice that.
That's not a continuity error. That's because the guy who plays him wanted him not to have the red arm, and him and JJ was always arguing about it. So as a compromise, he said, "Oh, in the last shot, you can have your red arm back then." Your normal arm back.
I didn't
then.
notice that. I didn't notice that.
Yeah,
I've only watched it twice.
I only watched it because there was a video I watched online of 10 things you missed in The Force Awakens. But yeah, shall we get on to our bad movie club segment?
Right, fucking hell. Okay.
From go about raving a film to absolutely fucking destroying
Not
it.
just one film, two films.
films.
We're doing both Alien versus Predator
We
films.
did a double feature.
Right, so, okay. The writing was anybody expecting a good Alien versus Predator film? You fucking sad, joyless wankers. Because the writing was on the wall from the very beginning, because it wasn't R-rated, and Paul W.S. Anderson was announced as the director of the first. A man who has never made an even reasonable film. This guy did Event Horizon, he did Resident Evil, he did Mortal Kombat, he did that shitty Death Race, and that fucking awful reboot of The Three Musketeers. So, how fucking pathetic do you look thinking that you were going to get a good Alien versus Predator film? You fucking plums. Right. The first Alien vs Predator film is devoid of any kind of personality or character.
There's
ever.
no character in it at all.
All of the characters in the film are either stereotypes or cliches. Even Ewan Bremner. I wanted to punch Ewan Bremner, and I fucking love that guy. How did they manage to take two brilliant characters like the Xenomorph and the Predators and make this so fucking boring? It is astounding, because this film takes itself so seriously that you can't even have any fun with it. It's borderline pretentious because it thinks that it's like some sort of high art fucking conflict movie between these two massive characters. It's not. It's just a shit fucking film. I mean, all of the deaths take place off screen as well, because pussies. I mean, and the fight sequences,
I quite like them. But that's the only thing I like about this film. I did like the fight sequences.
I can kind of understand that. Also, I thought the art design was decent.
Yeah, that's the only reason. That's the only part of the... I don't like the films at all. That's the only part of it I like.
And the second one, as if the first one wasn't bad enough.
I actually hate the second one more.
You can't see anything.
Oh, no.
I mean, we
nuke the town in the end anyway.
I don't remember because I couldn't see it. I don't fucking know what happened in this film. Right. The point of Bad Movie Club.
What's lighting?
The point of Bad Movie Club is that we watch bad films so that you don't need to. And I'm telling you, you really don't need to watch either of these. Especially you don't need to see Alien vs Predator Requiem. You need to see Samurai Cop because it's fucking hilarious. And we ragged on that for having terrible exposure issues. Oh my god. Alien vs Predator Requiem makes fucking Samurai Cop look like Citizen Kane.
And the thing is, Alien vs Predator Requiem had a budget. They could afford lighting. Maybe they did use lighting.
Apparently,
turned them off.
the DOP was saying throughout the entire thing of filming, they couldn't see fucking anything anyway.
Yeah, right. That pisses me off as a DOP, so I don't understand that. But what I felt like the second one was trying to do was be a slasher, like there's a killer in the neighborhood, like a Halloween kind of thing, but the killers were the predators and the aliens, but it just wasn't working. And there was that scene where they broke alien law by having an alien do something to a pregnant woman and all her babies became aliens or something. Remember that scene?
Yeah, vaguely, yeah.
That broke alien law. That's not how the aliens reproduce.
I only watched this 2 days ago and I've already fucking forgotten it.
True. Also, you know how the last one ends and it's got the alien popping out of the predator and it's got
alien.
That, I can't remember if I still have it, but I might have put it away because I hated that film. I had the figurine of the alien predator hybrid, and in theory that should have been fun to watch.
Yeah, it's not even fun though. These films, they're not even fun. Like I could deal with the fact that they're shit if they're at least fun.
Yeah, they're not. The imagery I liked, but that's not the reason it's a good film. It's not a good film at all.
It's just really depressing.
There's one thing at the ending of the first one where the alien pops out of the predator's chest. They do it in the second one, but it looks different. The set design is changed. Why? They've broken continuity. That's the stupidest thing ever. But thing is, I really like Predator. Predator's one of my favourite films, and Elliot can probably tell right now because he's sat next to a really big Predator I have in my room.
How you doing, mate?
So I really like Predator. I like the idea of that alien being like this ultimate hunter that likes to hunt prey in an amazing way. And in theory, its ideal prey should be the alien, because we've seen Predator 2.
Mm-hmm.
Remember the
With
end?
Danny Glover, yeah.
Remember the end in the ship where they find the alien ship? There's actually the alien skull.
Yeah.
So, and I think the hint in that is that the Predators could time travel, but it still doesn't make this film good because the aliens are in the future. So why would they be planting their eggs in the past in a temple that can change with no power source? What's that about, mate? Explain yourself. But again, I thought the second one was trying to be a slasher film, but it just wasn't working, and then they nuked the town in the end, and it was, I don't know why that film happened.
Nobody watched that first one going, oh yeah, I really want to see a second one now. And they went, we're going to make a second one.
I can't remember how old I was when these came out, but I remember there was a lot of hype around them.
The first one was 2004, so I would have been like 8,
God, yeah.
7 or 8 years old.
I would have been like 9, 10 then.
Mhm.
So, yeah, I remember just like going into a comic book store and like they were hyping it up so much, and then it just disappeared after that because obviously everyone realised it was absolutely fucking awful. There's only the one part I like is where the Predator is it the Predator? Someone's stabbed and like they're face to face facing each other off, and like that could be a cool fight.
Yeah, the alien with the tail and it goes through the Predator and it picks. Yeah.
There's a good concept in this somewhere because this happened because there are books and comics about it.
Yeah, I don't know much about the comics, but Sigourney Weaver says she fucking can't watch these films.
Oh, I don't blame her.
But I think the creator of it's either the creator of the comic books, who was the writer of the film, went on a massive rant about why Sigourney Weaver wouldn't watch them. I'm like, get over it, mate. Just fucking deal with it. Sigourney Weaver, you're gonna argue with Sigourney Weaver? Are you a fucking moron?
She's the original fucking alien killer. Don't question her.
Who would question Sigourney Weaver ever?
Who would question Elizabeth Ripley? How fucking dare you? Do you know what she's been through?
Mate.
I want to watch Alien now. I have it on Blu-ray.
Mate.
These films were basically money grab. I was like, oh, these franchises did well. Let's put them together and make money.
Yeah.
But let's not actually make them good. Let's just make money. Which is the worst way to set about making a film. Again, every director ever will make out a film. Every director ever will make a film because they want to make money, but also they want to make a good film. I hate it when directors set out to make just money.
Yeah.
And I feel like there's a few films recently like that. I've already said Jurassic World. I thought was like that. So don't do that. Never make a film to make money. Make a film because you want to make a film.
Yeah. As a hardcore punk prick that I am. I have a real issue when people just do stuff for the purpose of fame or money. I don't give a shit if I get money from anything that I do. If I do, that's a nice bonus, and maybe I can put that towards making even bigger things.
That's how we view this podcast, isn't it?
All I care about is I get to tell some fucking stories.
Yeah.
And maybe one person goes, this means something to me.
Yeah, that'd be nice. That'd be nice to happen. So, Alien vs Predator failed on that reason. I have them on DVD and I don't know why. I think I'm going to sell them.
Yeah, I've got a whole bunch of DVDs I want to sell. The first one's definitely in there because I don't have the second one on DVD. Because why would I put myself through that? I
accidentally bought them as a box set because I was buying the Predator films and they just came with them.
Oh, right.
Don't know why. Apparently, I just wanted to be tortured. I'm into that stuff. Apparently.
Do you want to hear a funny story?
Oh God!
Did I tell you about my cousin who tased himself?
You might have, but I don't remember it that well.
No,
so
it only happened last week.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so apparently one of my many cousins that I have on like both sides of the family, he bought a taser, I guess with the intention of tasing his wife, apparently.
Yeah, because you do that.
Yeah, of course you do. But he wanted to tase the cat in the end, but he didn't tase the cat. He tried it on himself, not realising that if he tases himself, he's not going to be able to let go.
Brilliant.
So it threw him around the room.
Can I meet your cousin? So I need to shake his hand.
I haven't seen him in years.
Oh, that is...
My mum just told me, very excited. I was getting a drink, and she told me about it.
Oh, wow. I don't know how you can... Oh. But I'd rather tase myself than watch Alien vs Predator.
Yeah, it's like getting tased in the balls, except painful. Nice IT Crowd reference for all you IT Crowd fans out there. Do you want to do it, mate? Do you want to do it?
I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. Father!
Speak, priest.
We love the IT Crowd.
Yeah.
Again, that's one of the funniest things ever to put on television. Don't break the internet.
Yeah, actually, if you tell me that you don't like the IT Crowd, that will get an actual reaction from me. I will drop kick you in the fucking teeth. I mean, you're allowed to like and dislike whatever you want, but not the IT Crowd.
That is gold. It's up there with Star Wars.
Yeah, if you don't like the IT Crowd, sort your fucking life out, mate.
It is hilarious. If you're not a nerd, it's still funny.
Yeah, it's hilarious.
Oh. Shall we do Captain America for our Bad Movie Club next
Of course
week?
we should.
Right.
Of course.
I'm gonna. We're not doing the current ones. We're not doing the Chris Evans ones. We're doing the 1990s Captain America movie. This film is going to get us. It's going to get me angry because it made me hate Marvel.
I can't wait to see it. I can't wait to see it.
He has rubber ears in it.
Oh, I can't wait to see it.
I think we should end now, shouldn't we? You know what we need? I do the intro. I think you should do an outro.
Oh God, all the pressure's on me now.
It is.
Oh mate, I can't handle it. Just holding back the fact that I want to call everyone a cunt.
Don't do that. Come on, you're a writer. You're good with words.
Oh, not saying them. Mate, I can't handle this. Am I red? Have I gone red?
You've gone red. You're all the layers of red. You're like a tomato. A punky tomato.
Like a Red Skull. Is that a...
That's a Marvel reference. Well done.
Yes! I'm a nerd now.